Welcome again to the Shooting USA YouTube channel. We're glad you're here. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. It really does help with the algorithm. And click the bell icon. That way you'll get notifications every time we post new content. If you're interested in full-length current Shooting USA shows, there's a link to our Vimeo channel in this video's description. A few dollars a month gets you unlimited streaming of over 60 full-length episodes. Also, remember to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. So now, here's what you came to see.
You're watching Shooting USA, America's #1 source for firearms news and information.
When match director Phil Strader decided to create an open division match at the Pro-Am, many questions arose. Some of these were, how fast can they go? And will anyone clear a stage? Well, the answers to these questions will be found within the Pro Division, where cold hard cash is the incentive for a winning performance. The Open Division Pro Match is a skins format, but with just 8 shooters in the division, the skins are worth $200. The stages are the same for both the open and limited matches, but the open par times are tighter. The pros in the open match get started on the very tricky stage, Colorblind. There are 3 colored shooting boxes, and they correspond to the colored steel targets. Shooters may only engage the colored steel matching the shooting box they're in. The par time is 23 seconds.
It's not a limited game.
30.
It's an open
30 it
game.
is. Set them up.
So it's a little easier, but then you just want to shoot faster. Sometimes it's not such a good idea.
Smith & Wesson's David Ohasso is running his open M&P 9 in the match. His design has run well in the other competitions he's entered with it, and at this match it continues to perform, maybe a little too well at the buzzer. That overtime shot gives David a score of 30. Now it's Dave Zabigny. His open Glock has a lot of miles on it and has always performed well. Dave trusts his equipment and his performance benefits. An untouchable score of 35 will win the stage and the cash.
You know, towards the end, you're always waiting for that buzzer to sound and give you the signal to stop shooting. So just hope that you connect on that final array, and it worked out for me that time.
Later on in the match, the shooters encounter the stage known as Advantage Lefty.
That's the one stage where it's literally non-stop shooting. You can literally pull the trigger the entire time. There's no breaks, just reload and keep going. And it's just neat looking. Just to see a big, huge field of curved poppers is really interesting.
Max Michel has thus far pocketed 1 stage win, and he's looking for another. And this stage plays right into his ability to shoot on the move. Positions 2 and 3 are static, and his shots are well placed. A score of 27 creates a tie for the lead. Dave Zabigny is also great at shooting and moving, and he uses the skill on this stage through all of the positions. At the buzzer, Dave suffers 1 overtime penalty, but his score still totals 28. Good enough to break the tie for the lead. You'll notice some differences in how Bob Vogel attacks the stage. First, he doesn't shoot on the move, and second, he's shooting a limited gun. These 2 differences should make Bob less competitive, but he is just the opposite, scoring 29 on the stage and taking the win. Going into the final stage of the open match, the money is well distributed, and the race at the front is a close one between Dave Zabigny and, amazingly, Bob Vogel with his limited gun. The last stage of the match will be the very demanding dope on a rope. With the race at the front coming down to the end, everyone is on edge. Shannon Smith is in a distant 3rd position in the overall standings, but he still wants the $200 cash up for grabs on this stage. Shannon's score of 25 is going to be a tough one to beat. Of the 2 shooters at the top of the overall race, Bob Vogel will be the first to shoot the final stage. Bob leaves it all on the range with no makeups until his strong hand only strength.
We have 24 down with no over. Yay.
So Dave knows what he has to do for the overall win. Anything better than 24 targets. That miss at the first position will be the difference. And after the overtime penalty, Dave will post an adjusted score of 23, giving the stage win to Shannon and the overall title to Bob Vogel. The final standings say it all, with the overall bonus of $400 for the win, $300 for second, $200 for third, and $100 for fourth.
It just came together. I think I really wasn't much pressure. I mean, I wasn't really expecting to do much in open, so I just thought, I'm just going to have fun. And first stage or two was rough, and I come in there, and second, third, fourth stage, I was running with those guys, and then I ended up winning 2 stages.
Our congratulations go to Bob Vogel on an amazing performance, a seemingly impossible performance. If you had said he would win the open match with his limited Glock, I don't think anybody would have believed it, especially against the talent in that match. But after the break, there's even more money on the line as more of the pros face off for the limited match. The turnout for this Pro-Am is the largest yet, and that is due to the fact this match is great fun for the shooters. However, in Oklahoma, there can be changes in conditions that affect everyone's performance. But when there's cash for the highest target count, the winners will be the ones who overcome and adapt. The backbone of the Pro-Am match is the amateur contingent, and they are well rewarded with a great prize table. But the leading edge of the action is in the Pro division, where there is cold, hard cash at stake.
We're doing the same numbers as last year. We're doing $500 per stage win for limited.
$500 per stage has brought out plenty of top professionals. There are so many shooters, in fact, that the division is spread over 2 squads, making the race for skins more challenging. Stage 1 money is in the bag for Shannon Smith, so on to Stage 2, Barrel of Mags. The stage is worth $500, but this will not be another stage win for Shannon. The other big variable in this match is about to become a factor as Manny Bragg tackles Barrel of Mags. Manny manages to equal Shannon's score of 20 just as the skies open up. Bob Vogel is next, and the now soggy conditions don't seem to bother him. Bob's performance on Barrel of Mags is good enough to tie 2 others and roll the money to the next stage of fire.
I'll take that. I had some makeup shots, but really worked with my grip slipping on that, but it didn't really shoot minor. So not everything went well. I'm really happy with that.
After 2 stages, the leaderboard is scattered. With 1 stage win in the bag, Shannon Smith is the only shooter with money, but all of the stage performances are adding up to a total match score with an additional $500 for the overall winner. The skin pushed from Barrel of Mags to Stage 3 has ended in another tie, so Stage 4, Bridge the Gap, is worth $1,500. And the soggy ground will be a factor here as the shooters run across the bridge and down the hall. Shannon Smith is the first to make a run at the money, and his effort will set an early precedent. Shannon takes down 24 targets safely inside the 20-second par time. Rob Latham has the accuracy to do it, but Rob's mobility might be an added challenge. Great hits on the 2 Texas Stars have Rob in position, and when the buzzer sounds, Rob has 25 points and the lead.
25. Probably not good enough, but probably not that bad.
Not bad at all, but the very next shooter on the stage is about to set himself apart from the others. Manny Bragg leaves a couple on the Stars, but he is through position 3 in a flash. And at the final position, Manny suffers 1 overtime penalty. Even so, his total will win him the 3 skins up for grabs.
What do you think, Manny? Well, after those first 3 slow starts, I'll take this one. We'll see if it's good enough.
The score will be good enough by a long shot. And just like that, there is a new money leader, but also a new name at the front of the overall race. Stage 5 ends in another tie. So the money again rolls over to stage 6.
One of the stages is called to shoot or not to shoot. And what I'm talking about are the far 50-yard poppers. People can try to engage those. They're worth 5 hits apiece instead of just 1. Or they can just forget it and run to the end and try to clean the 19 targets that are further down.
That is a lot to think about, especially with $1,000 cash on the line. But Mike Seeklander has the right idea. Fast, accurate shots on the long steel give him time to get into the downrange position and clear the rack. Mike takes 28 points and the lead on the stage. Bob Vogel has been hanging around the top of the leaderboard and now is going to make a play for a stage win. Good, sharp follow-ups have Bob in good position downrange, and that last shot is good for a now leading score of 29.
29, I guess. 28 was a high before, so we'll see if that holds.
Bob's score will hold for a while, right up to the last shooter on the stage. The young man from the Army Marksmanship Unit, Daniel Horner, has had a lackluster match to this point, but the young specialist is fast on his feet and on the trigger. Daniel takes the stage and the $1,000 cash with a score of 32.
Long shots. I called it. I drew the gun, had a little bit of a bad grip, and then first round went off the right side, and then it centered back up and went real good.
This stage win will distribute the cash a little bit, but in the overall final standings, it's Bob Vogel hanging on to the top spot for an additional $500. Shannon Smith second, with Zabigny, Martin, and Bragg rounding out the top 5. Congratulations again to Bob Vogel, who didn't win a skin, but his consistent finishes on all the stages gave him the overall top spot in the limited match. Also, congratulations to Manny Bragg as the big money winner and for taking the stage win when it really paid off. And the payoff for us, some of the hottest action ever seen in shooting sports television.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you're interested in full-length current episodes of Shooting USA, there's a link in the video description to our Vimeo channel. A couple bucks a month gets you access to more than 60 episodes, and premieres are added the morning after they debut on Outdoor Channel.